First Baptist Church of Kimberling City presents a fresh look with fresh starts.
Good morning, church. It's good to be with you again this morning, this Wednesday morning. I hope you're off to a fantastic day already. You spent time with the Lord, or perhaps you're about to. I want to give you some words of encouragement this morning. You see, so oftentimes we get what's called burnout. You've heard the term. And I want to talk to you about spiritual exhaustion, how we get tired in the ministry of doing the work of the Lord. I heard someone say one time, well, you shouldn't get burnout. You shouldn't become exhausted. My Bible says that even Jesus got that way. You see in Mark there, after he's fed the 5,000, it says he sent his disciples across the sea, told them to go, and he was going on the mountain to pray and to just recharge. I know last week I had to do the same. I found myself in a downward spiral and knew I needed just 2 or 3 days just to listen and not to have to prepare or anything, but just to listen to what God says, and it was wonderful. Spiritual exhaustion never comes from sin. Spiritual exhaustion always comes from work of the kingdom, doing godly work. Now, if that's the case, that we get spiritually exhausted from that, then how do we replenish our energy supply? Well, the truth of the matter is that you and I do the work of the ministry through the power of God within us. So when when Jesus told Peter to feed his lambs, he didn't give Peter the food to feed them, did he? He didn't tell him what to feed them. He just told Peter to feed his lambs. And later on, Peter follows Christ and learns more about him and is dependent on him and his spirit. And that is where he finds his replacement, his nourishment. Peter had to spend time alone, just like you and I have to spend time alone. Jesus had to spend time alone because the work of the ministry is exhausting. The lambs are always hungry. There's always need. And you say, well, yeah, but you're a pastor. I'm not in that boat. Yes, you are. If you're a child of God, you are to be feeding lambs. You are to be doing the work of the kingdom. Now, it's true, only about 20% do 80% of the work in the church. And these people become exhausted. And we have to understand that it's okay to be exhausted, but it's not okay to stay exhausted. We have to continue finding the resources from the source in Jesus Christ. So maybe today you're feeling tired. You worked in Bible school for 50 years. Maybe you've kept the nursery for, I don't know how many times a year. Maybe you've sung in the choir. Maybe you've prayed. Maybe you've helped in benevolence, on and on and on and on and on. And you say, I'm just tired. Well, check your resource supply. When was the last time you spent some time alone reflecting on God's goodness and His grace? Every one of us has to do that for a while. Sometimes it's longer periods, sometimes it's not long at all. But I promise you this, God always supplies our needs according to His riches and glory in Christ Jesus. Hey, you think about that today as you get off to a fresh start, and may God bless.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share Fresh Start. Fresh Start is a ministry of First Baptist Church, Kimberling City.